Ooh, nice seats.
Okay, can everybody on Zoom hear us? Perfect, perfect, okay. Welcome to the Community Partnership Meeting. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I hope you are as excited as I am with the warmer weather that's coming in the longer days. And if you're not, that's okay too. So we're gonna start the way that we typically do with introductions. I'm gonna start by calling people on Zoom. So if you can introduce yourself, name, organization, anything you want to share about that, and then also something you're grateful for. And we do keep track of 40-second time limits for everyone so we can get to everyone before our presenters start. So I will start on my screen with Sarah. It is so good to see your face too, by the way.
You too. Good morning. My name is Sarah Hope. I'm the RN Care Manager at Savita Health. And today I'm thankful for, I bought a bunch of plane tickets for my family. We're going to go down and see my son graduate from basic training in Georgia in just about 3 weeks.
Yay, that's exciting.
Okay.
Cool.
Awesome, thank you, Sarah. Mr. Gorton.
Up already. Good morning, folks. John Gordon from the Sheldon Methodist Church Food Shelf. I'm glad for Zoom because I think no way I was going to get out there in person, and I don't think I missed the community partnership meeting in about 6 or 7 years, so I did not want to miss this one. I'm thankful. I've got a couple of programs that we're working here at the Food Shelf. I became a commodity supplemental food program distributor. And this next month, I'll have about 45 seniors receiving commodities boxes at my food shelf. And I'm in process of becoming either a sponsor or a site for summer meals programs, and I already have over 50 children identified to be getting summer meals boxes during the summer here at the shelf. So things are looking up. And for those of you, we had an incident at the shelf, and I'm very thankful that although we didn't have Narcan available at our shelf, and that's one thing that I just sent an email to make sure it happens, because we had an incident, and fortunately we did have some Narcan available, and we were able to keep this person alive until care got here. Take care of things.
Thank you, John. Thank you for all you do. Brendan.
Hey all, I'm Brendan McCormick. I am in business development and outreach for Sana at Stowe Substance Use Disorder Treatment Facility. I'll be presenting a little bit later. Thanks for having me. Oh, and I'm grateful for my dogs this morning. They always seem to bring a smile to my face regardless of the day. So thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thanks, Brendan. Liz.
Good morning, can you hear me, folks?
We can.
My video doesn't seem to be working this morning, but my name is Liz Jarvis. I'm the Resource Access Manager for CCB, supporting our student resource centers, including the one in St. Albans. Happy to be joining you, and I'm grateful for the work that you all do.
Awesome. Thank you, Liz. William.
Good morning, everyone. My name is William Moore. I'm a youth financial coach with Champlain Valley Office for Economic Development's Financial Futures Program. We offer classes and individual one-on-one training, financial coaching sessions on budgeting, savings, building credit, etc. I am grateful for my family, my friends, my health, and being part of this great community.
Awesome. Thank you, William. Is this your first meeting with us?
It is indeed, yes.
All right. Welcome. Got to give you the party hat emoji. Okay, there it is. Welcome. Okay, next person, Karen. Uh-oh. So Karen,
can you hear me?
Okay, yes, now we can.
Yes, okay. I am from the Community College of Vermont, and we are just networking and seeing how we could help and be more of a presence in the St. Albans community.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Welcome. And this is your first meeting?
Yes.
Awesome.
It's my first meeting, and I'm grateful for I have a goose that I'm trying. Sorry. I have a goose that I'm trying to make famous. That's what I'm grateful for. His name is Professor Freaky Feathers. He's fantastic.
All right.
Oh, Karen, please email to the FGIC partnership, it's in the different
Yeah.
emails, so we can highlight your goose.
We need a picture.
We need a picture, yeah.
We need a picture.
This is so cool. I love
You
this.
can follow.
Go ahead.
You can follow him on Facebook. He does have a page. It's just Professor Freaky Feathers. You can find him. He's amazing.
Can't even, I love it. Thank you.
That's not good.
Feel free to put his name in the chat too, just in case we forget, because I cannot forget this after the meeting's over. Okay, Matthew.
Greetings, Franklin Community Partnership. My name is Matthew LaFleur. I'm not official title to Chief Training Excellence at the moment. I'll just keep it straight. I'm the statewide Vermont official correspondent. So if one update at that title, that would be grateful if you could. I do all the things in Vermont, basically, and it's not easy. But yeah, I'm grateful for just that collaboration effort, between regionals, towns, cities, and the state, because the way I look at it is, to be able to survive in a small state of Vermont, you need everybody on deck to support each other, and that's how we're gonna get through the tough times. But I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Matthew. And Kylie.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Kylie Brennan. I'm the nurse care coordinator at St. Albans Health Center in Notch Primary Care. And today I am grateful for my children and the smile they bring to my face every day, no matter what mood they're in, and the opportunities that we are able to do together. This afternoon we're heading to see their grandparents in Florida, so I'm looking forward to some warm weather.
Ooh, Kylie, if you need me to carry your bags with you, I'll go.
I'm first in line for that one.
We'll go together. Awesome, thank you. Nicole.
Good morning, everyone. Nicole Cunningham, Training and Engagement Specialist with My Healthy Vermont at Northwestern Medical Center. And this morning, I am grateful for both the kids going back to school this morning and the Noah Las Vegas from the Towers.
Thank you, Nicole. And how about our other Nicole?
Good morning, my name is Nicole Clements. I'm the Working Bridges Resource Coordinator for the United Way of Northwest Vermont. I work closely, I actually am stationed, one of my sites is NCSS. I am grateful for warmer weather today. I didn't have to warm my car up or put 5 layers on, it was kind of nice.
Yeah, thank you. And Tracy.
Before I go, the gentleman for the shelter, please go to Savita and grab a couple Narcans. We have plenty. And I'm Tracy Thomason. I am on my old account for Zoom, so it says Corey, but I am Thomason. My Zoom on my laptop's acting up. I am the Vice President of Operations for Savita, Vermont, and recently got New Hampshire, so that's kind of exciting. I am grateful for a lot of things, but today I'm most grateful for my staff, and not to sound cheesy, but we had a really good meeting yesterday, and I am just so grateful to have the existing staff that I have, like Sarah, hello, in St. Albans. They're doing so much training for me to get our staff up to par, and the new incoming staff is turning out to be just a really great addition to Savita, so that's what I'm grateful for. Thanks for having me here today.
Thank you,
And
Tracy.
Thank you.
And I did update your name spelling too.
Thank you.
Okay, let's come to the room. We'll start with Michelle.
Hi, good morning. I'm Michelle Treya, Northwestern Counseling and Support Services, Parent-Child Center Program. I'm the Family Access Coordinator. And I am just truly grateful for support of friends, family, and coworkers. They just really have rocked.
Jessica Frost, Manager of Population Health at NMC and the Blueprint Program Manager. And I'm grateful that the school board budget passed for Maple Run and that our community decided to continue to support education at a good level, because going back and having to redo the budget and make cuts would have been really terrible. So thank you for everybody who voted.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Amy Brewer. I'm the health educator at Northwestern Medical Center, and I coordinate the Franklin Grand Isle Tobacco Prevention Coalition. I am grateful for, some days it's harder to find that grateful bit than others, but I'm gonna say I'm grateful for Nicole Draper up at Swanton Rec, who is just kind of crushing both Swanton Rec and the work that she's doing with youth and really advocating for change and doing change. And she just inspires me, so.
I'm Kathleen Shadow. I'm the rector at Holy Trinity Episcopal Church in Swanton. I completely agree with you about Nicole. She's phenomenal. Today specifically, I'm grateful. Today is Ash Wednesday, so it's the first day of Lent in the Catholic. Well, grew up Catholic in the Christian tradition for some of the Christian churches, and particularly I am grateful that I am part of an ecumenical service that's happening at noon at St. Luke's, and so there's about 4 different churches, and all of the clergy are women, so it's just kind of fun.
Nice.
My name is Danielle Perry. I am the Transitional Housing Coordinator with Voices Against Violence, and today I am grateful for the warmer weather, for sure.
I'm Megan Spatola. I am the Family Services Coordinator at Voices Against Violence, and today I'm grateful for, I guess, like, people's strength in the face of adversity. I had a really good conversation with my friend last night, and I was just really impressed with how far she's come, and that was nice.
I'm Brittany Gillespie. I'm the state consultant for Military OneSource, and today I am thankful that my kids are back in school as well, but the teens each made the bus, and the toddlers slept in past 7. So, yeah.
A little breath of relief. I'm Deb Grennan with First Children's Finance, a business development specialist there, and I am grateful for being able to participate in the democratic process. Yesterday was town meeting day. It was grueling, but it was awesome because people were super engaged and really wanting to be serious about what happened in our future, and our budget's passed, so that was a bonus. But yeah, I'm grateful for all of that and to be here today. I like to come to all these meetings, but they conflict with the work meeting every week, so anyway, grateful to be here. Thanks for having me present today.
Hi, I'm Jess Fight from Champlain Toxicology Lab. This is the first time I've been at this meeting.
Yay!
Love the bell. Grateful for the opportunity to be here. We're really, we have a patient service center in Burlington, and we're looking to implement one in Franklin County. So we're trying to assess kind of the needs of SUD programs and treatments within Franklin County and how we can best serve that population. So thanks for being here.
I'm Brad Ferlin. I'm co-chair with Melinda on the Substance Use Addiction Summit at the Fairgrounds, and it'll be our 4th on August 1st. We're very excited about it. A lot of great things are happening. And I'm grateful that the political climate in Vermont is on substance use addiction and law enforcement is changing in a more positive way, that we're seeing some movement, which is good. So.
Very cool. Peter Andrews with Adult and Teen Challenge, based out of Johnson, Vermont. I am the End Addiction Coordinator, which is responsible for fundraising for the program, as well as choir services, and also program development. So just like a lot of us, we're understaffed right now, so I wear a lot of hats. I am grateful for my ex-wife, who's been unbelievably supportive in my recovery process, and now I have my daughter back in my life, and things are going amazing.
Nice.
I'm Kate Lewin. I'm the Choices for Care nurse for Franklin and Grand Isle County, so I do all the long-term care Medicaid eligibility for a lot of people, for nursing homes, residential care homes, and in-home care. And I would say I'm grateful. I'm gonna plug in too. I get to pick up my son, who I haven't seen in a while. He was my first that left the nest, and I wasn't planning on it, so I'm still like, can't believe it's happening, or it happened. It's already a year now. And what was the other thing? Grateful for partnerships that I'm learning about that like are people that I wouldn't have expected to be partnerships that, you know, are just genuinely care about community in Franklin County. I think we have and Grand Isle, I think we have a lot of people across different programming and or even just organizations, and I think that's amazing. So I'm glad to be a part of it.
My name's Marion. I'm the substance misuse prevention consultant with the Division of Substance Use Program at the Vermont Department of Health. There we go. I'm grateful for a whole host of things, but I'm selfishly grateful today because my daughter works for an airline, which then lets her parents fly for free. So I get to booked my tickets to Montana for the end of the month to see my son, and because I can fly for free, I can go back any way I want, and I'm going to get to go to one of my really good friends' wedding in St. Louis on the way home. Yay. It's like, wow, amazing. I'm so excited about that. So, and I'm really grateful. She loves her job too, so that's the important part. But selfishly.
Awesome.
Awesome. Danielle Roberts, I'm the Director of Community Relations here at NCSS. I'm grateful to have some new people here from different conversations that I know a lot of us have had, so I'm excited for seeing new faces. And I'm grateful for, I guess, selfishly that my hockey season is done. It's a lot of time. But looking back on, I'm just grateful for all the growth that I saw in those young girls, coming as a team who a lot of them didn't know each other, and seeing all the new friendships and the development as athletes and hockey players. It was great, so I'm grateful for that experience this year.
And we want to acknowledge Hunter, our ever faithful Northwest Access TV recorder. Hunter, do you want to introduce yourself? And I think I kind of did part of it, but.
I can finish it off though. So I'm Hunter. I film and edit at Northwest Access TV, and I'm grateful. We just got through town meeting day, which is like an exceptionally busy day for us. A lot of towns, a lot of meetings. We do a live show at the end of the day. Bunch of trying to get the videos ready for that in between. Very hectic day. We survived. And I'm also grateful for the thaw because today's the first day in a while that my path from my front door to my driveway hasn't been kind of like a ice skating challenge.
Yeah.
Yes. It's all good.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hunter. My name is Melinda White, recovery coach supervisor in the emergency department, employed by Turning Point in partnership with Northwestern Medical Center and Vermont Blueprint Mat Lead. I am and co-founder of the Substance Use Addiction Summit. Extremely grateful that we're going to be going into our 4th year. And then also just grateful, I guess it's kind of selfishly too, as a person in recovery, that I learned so much from both the people who have been in recovery for a long time and can share experiences that they've gone through that I might be getting ready to go through, and how they got through it without making unhealthy decisions. And then especially for the new people that I get to work with, because I don't have the opportunity to forget how bad it was, because I have a disease that convinces me I don't have a disease, and a built-in forgetter. So I'm grateful for the work that I get to do, because I'm working with I have a few faces right now in my mind of people that are just brand new getting in recovery, and they're just so enthusiastic and committed, and they're getting their lives back and their health back, and you just see this, it's like seeing the light slowly come on, and it gets so bright that they just light up the room when they walk in. And I'm so grateful for that, just getting to experience miracles every single day with the people that I come in contact with. And I won't even look Pete's direction because I have a good makeup day and I'm not looking to mess it up. But just, hearing a share like that, reunification with family members and loved ones, it just doesn't get any better. And I never would have imagined pre-recovery that I would have a job that I'm so excited to go to, that I can't wait to see the people I get to see. And it doesn't mean there aren't challenges with it, but some people want to live to see a miracle, and I see many of them every single day. What a blessing. So just grateful for recovery. So with that, I did not put it on the agenda because we didn't have all of the news before, but I just want to touch base on, as you might see, Chad Fallon is not sitting with us today. Very exciting for him, got an opportunity with the Vermont courts, so he is no longer able to be on the PELT team, the Partnership Executive Lead team with us. So definitely took care of putting on the whole guilt trip, you're abandoning us, poor us, and very quickly grew up and matured up and said, we are so excited for you and so proud of you. We love Chad. He was so effective with his partnership with us, so he's going to be greatly missed. And also there's a vacancy. I met with Andrew Decker last week from Howard Center. He is not able to join us today, but we had a really good conversation, and he's wanting to get back in community head first and has joined the PELT team. So Andrew will be a more constant face with this group, and also willing to help us with some of the back end work that goes into keeping this meeting going smoothly and good communication. So just want to formally thank Chad and let him know we'll miss him. Would love to see him visit anytime, and then also to welcome Andrew on board. So just wanted to get that piece on the record. And that brings us to the approval of our meeting minutes from last month. That was sent out in the packet. So if there's anyone who reviewed the minutes and feels that it's appropriate to put a motion to accept as written or to bring up any edits, let's do that next.
I will move to approve.
Thank you,
You're
Amy.
welcome.
So a motion from Amy Brewer, and do we have a second?
I second that.
Second from Pete Andrews, thank you. Okay, so we have two presenters today, which is not uncommon for the partnership. Sometimes we have one presenter taking up the full time, other times we have two. So we are going to start first with, let me just pull up, I think it was Deb was first on the agenda.
I don't know.
Do I have that? Okay, sorry, let me pull that up just to make sure I've got this right. Here it is. No, so actually, sorry. So Sana at Stowe. So Brendan, you're going to be up first. Sorry for the confusion. So we did a test before the meeting. I think you're good to go to share. I'm also going to click on record. I just want to do that so there's no interruption.
Recording in progress.
Awesome. So Brendan, if you'd like to go ahead and take it away with your presentation and let me know if there's any technical issues on your end.
Great, thanks so much. Yeah, keep me posted if anything isn't heard or seen on your end. Hopefully this will go good. I haven't done PowerPoint since college, but we're gonna rock it out. Thanks so much for having me. It's been great to be a part of this meeting each month and just hear from other people and connect. So excited to share with you all today. And feel free to ask any questions that you have as we're going along here. I'm gonna share my screen and see if we can get that going here. Beginning. All right, how's it looking on your end?
Perfect.
Okay, great. So I'm just gonna cruise through the slides here and then leave some space for questions at the end, but feel free to interrupt if anything's unclear or anyone wants more clarity around anything. So we'll get started here. So who is Sana? So the history of Sana at Stowe. So we are a medical detox and 28-day residential treatment program for substance use disorder. I'm just gonna move this window over so I can see better. There we go. Okay, so started serving the recovery community in 2021. Under the old ownership, the original ownership, it was touted as a private pay only, very high end retreat style, very medically based, and that business model didn't work and it kind of was ostracized from the community. And so Integrative Life Network came in 2023. Took over Sana, brought in a new executive director, Philip Henserling, who I'll talk about later, who has a background in insurance contracts and is in long-term recovery himself, and had experience as an executive director previously. And so Sana shifted from a medical-based model, strictly medical-based model, high-end retreat style, private pay only, pivoted to accepting all insurances, being in network with several insurances, which I'll discuss in a moment. Continuing with the medical model, but also adding a much more robust clinical model as well. Also increasing our bed capacity and extending our length of stay for residential treatment. So that all happened in 2023. So in the last year and a half, 2 years, we've gone through a lot of changes with staff, with our insurance, in-network insurance capabilities, and lots of good things that I'll continue to go into as we go along here. So we're licensed to treat substance use disorders and secondary mental health disorders. We do full medical detox, as I mentioned, and then the 28-day residential programming. We treat substance use disorder and co-occurring disorders. We do have a really high staff to client ratio, so we are able oftentimes to take on some of the more complex co-occurring and polysubstance use issues. And we can talk about that a little bit more later as well. Our mission is to support and guide individuals with substance use disorder in their unique process of self-discovery and recovery using evidence-based practices blended together with impeccable service and compassionate care in a serene, private environment. We oftentimes mention that we recognize that recovery is not a 14-day stint, it's not a 30-day program with us. It's a lifelong adventure, and we're here to support people as best we can throughout that process. So at Sonnet Cell, we value patient centricity, excellence, accountability, compassion, and empathy. And along with these slides, you'll notice pictures from our facility as well. This one is from our kind of back courtyard area when the sun is shining. So here's some of the program highlights. So as I mentioned, we are in network with several insurance organizations, and we're continuing to increase and diversify that as much as we can. So we started off with Blue Cross Blue Shield, then we moved into Optum, and then First Health, and then MVP. And then at the end of the year, we got in network with TRICARE, and we're really doing a big push to serve the military community in Vermont. I've met with a few folks and want to continue to do so that we can serve that community in a better way. And then most recently, Point 32 as well. We do accept all commercial insurances, and we have a lot of good luck with out-of-network insurances like Cigna and Aetna. And then for anyone that needs to do private pay, we are often able to offer financial discounts. Our census load, which I'll talk about a little bit more, we have a 32-bed capacity, and we've been hovering right around at the 60 to 70% capacity rate. So when we have open beds, we want to get people in. And as long as we can stay stable as a business and we have open beds, those things come together and we can offer really good financial discounts for people, payment plans, etc. to get folks in that need help. So our programming includes withdrawal management program, daily provider visits on-site nursing 24/7, integrated programming and psychoeducation clinical groups, 28-day residential treatment, as I mentioned. A lot of our clinicians have started incorporating more experiential hikes. We're down right on Mountain Road in Stowe, so we're right across from the Stowe Recreation Trail, so we're able to get our clients out for walks for at least an hour a day, and then a lot of our clinical groups have been getting folks out, incorporating more holistic practices, breath work, hikes, cold plunges, etc. We do 6 hours of integrated clinical programming each day, and a little bit later I'll show you a sample day at Sonnet, what that looks like. We do individual, family, and couples counseling sessions. We can do that on site. If someone comes in with a previous therapist, we're able to work with that therapist. They can either come on site or work with us virtually. Families can come on site and do group sessions with us or do that virtually as well. We really want to incorporate every client's support system as best we can. We have great farm-to-table chef-prepared meals. And then I'm going to talk a little bit later about our family weekends that we started incorporating about 5 months ago that are going really successfully as well. So our admissions process, we try to do our turnaround as quick as possible. As we all know in recovery, when someone needs help, they need it now. And so our admissions team is available 7 days a week. I also make myself available with my direct cell phone, kind of posted everywhere if anyone ever has any questions or text. Or wants to call or text me, they can do that anytime. But our admissions team is amazing because they're just as informed as I am. So if anyone ever has any questions, I always encourage them to just go right to admissions. They can call, they can ask questions, they can get the initial inquiry started, they can get the verification of benefits started so they can find out what the financial piece is. And then once they get that information, they can get the pre-admission screener done. We'll do a quick clinical review with our clinical director and our medical team, and then we'll try to get intake done as quick as possible. We try to do that within 24 to 48 hours, and actually the last 2 clients that we've gotten in who have pretty severe situations, we were able to get them in less than 5 hours. So, and along with that, I want to mention just now that we are able to provide transportation. So we have a company vehicle. So anyone within the state of Vermont, even a little bit beyond, if they need a ride, we'll go and pick them up because we know that we need to get people in as soon as possible. So we view trauma as a relational cultural model. It happens on an individual and social level, and we really emphasize power with, not power over. There's a lot of inclusivity, and I'll talk a little bit more about our clinical programming that was brought in by Carmen Dominguez. So we're not a 12-step based program, though we do incorporate the 12 steps, and we also do bring in AA groups to the facility for peer support, which I'll talk a little bit about later. Most of our clinical programming is rooted in the polyvagal theory and central nervous system regulation. So anyone that's in recovery oftentimes has been utilizing substances to regulate their central nervous system. And so when those substances are gone, what we're doing is teaching people, clients, how to restore that healing through safety, connection, dignity, and then holistic practices and clinical programming to figure out and educate clients around how to regulate their central nervous system without substances. Kind of 4 of our measures that we always keep in mind are safety, processing, integration, and becoming, and I'll touch on those a little bit more as we go through our clinical programming and what that looks like. We really try to incorporate all 4 of those each day with the clients. This is just a basic slide on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. For anyone that has a social worker, psychological background, you'll likely know this slide, but it's basically just an understanding that, especially here at Solana, what we do is we meet clients where they're at. So if someone comes in and they're just at the base level needing physiological needs, food, water, shelter, maybe they've lost their home, lost their job, etc. due to substance use, we're gonna meet them right where they're at there. If we have someone coming in who has a job, has a family, has a seemingly on the surface good life going on, but is missing out on perhaps a safety need due to trauma as a child, or love and belonging, maybe they don't feel connected to their friends or family or community. This is basically just an idea that as we move up through our hierarchy of needs, we're meeting clients where they're at individually as well as within a group setting. So our 28-day residential treatment programming is, that's 4 weeks. And so we utilize a book called The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And basically each week is dedicated to an agreement. So one of those agreements is be impeccable with your word, which means speak with integrity, say only what you mean, avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others, use the power of your word in direction of truth and love. Another agreement, don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality. When you're immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be a victim of needless suffering. Don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstanding, sadness, and drama. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. I'm sure a lot of us can relate to some of these. And always do your best. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It'll be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick. Under any circumstance, simply do your best, and you'll avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. So we utilize each of these 4 agreements as our weekly theme, and then I'll talk a little bit about how each day is broken down a little bit later. So this is our treatment team, our core leadership team at the facility. So our executive director, Philip Henserling, medical director is Dr. Jonathan Hastings. Our FNP and PA are Brett Lumumba and Mike Gaffney. Chief Clinical Advisor Carmen Dominguez, who I had mentioned. She's based out of Boston. She's a teacher, a professor at Lesley University, and she's who incorporated a lot of our clinical programming. She guided our clinical director, Max Crystal, and then our director of nursing is Diamond Mescal. And all of our treatment team is always open and willing to connect with anyone who has questions. If someone has a deeper question about a medical issue or a clinical issue, I'm always happy to connect to anyone with someone on our treatment team if they'd like to meet with them specifically. This is the breadth of our services. We really pride ourselves on a really wide, diverse breadth of services, knowing that each individual is going to relate to something different, whether that's breath work, or we provide yoga multiple times a week, we do acupuncture multiple times a week to help with detox. We do kind of the traditional approaches of CBT, DBT, ACT. We're just in the process of hiring a new clinician that has who's certified in EMDR, so we'll be able to incorporate that into both group and individual counseling. As I mentioned, we bring in peer support groups, so 2 times a week we bring in an AA group, 2 different AA groups to expose folks to that peer support. We also expose them to things like smart recovery and recovery dharma, which a lot of clients really enjoy too. And we incorporate a lot of somatic things, somatic movement, as I mentioned, hiking. We have an art and expressive therapist that comes in and does art therapy and dance movement therapy. Just really trying to touch on a lot of things, both cognitively and somatically, to see what lands for clients throughout their treatment process. So this is a typical day in what group structure and flow looks like. So as I mentioned, each week we'll have a theme based on one of the 4 agreements, and then each day we'll have a theme based on these 5 approaches. So Monday might be foundational principles of the 12 steps, Tuesday will be a deeper dive into polyvagal theory, Wednesday we're focusing on trauma in the body, Thursday we'll take a deeper dive into what the 4 agreements mean in relation to substance use, life, and moving forward. And then Friday we'll talk a little bit more about internal family systems and what it looks like to be inside your mind, judging yourself, and why kind of why we are the way that we are. So a typical day for clients is breakfast at 8, back-to-back groups, lunch around noon, another group, then we get an hour for a break where typically our direct care staff is bringing clients across the road over to the Stowe Recreation Path for a walk, and then they'll come back and do another group and then have dinner, and then the last portion of the day will be a therapeutic study and journal reflection on what they learned that day and how they're going to incorporate that in their lives. And then at night we have peer support meetings, and that's either done, again, like I said, either with an AA group coming in or just within the core peer support team and our direct care staff themselves. So as you can see, kind of the flow of the day, the group kind of starts with an attunement and attention and a prep and getting in your body and doing some movement, and then we'll do some processing, and then we'll integrate what we've processed, and then the last group is more about becoming. What does that look like for our lives? Who are we wanting to become? How do we incorporate that into our daily lives? So I mentioned earlier, we started incorporating a family program about 5 months ago. We recognized that just having family visiting hours on the weekends, allowing families to do group therapy and being in touch with our therapist and our case manager just wasn't quite enough. So we brought in Carmen to instruct our clinical team on how to run a family program. So it's a 1.5 day experiential for any family member that wants to come in. They'll come to the facility and they'll basically just do a 1.5 days of what it's like to be in treatment. They'll learn about what substance use is, what treatment for substance use is, and then most importantly, what to do post-treatment. A lot of clients have family members that just don't know what substance use is. They don't know what to do while the person is in treatment, and particularly what to do out of treatment. So we were seeing, since we incorporated the family program, we've been getting great feedback from the clients. We've seen a decrease in ASAs and AMAs. So we've seen a much higher rate of completion for our clients, and a lot less return clients as well. So that gives us feedback that what we're doing is working. And while talking about that, I want to mention something that's not in these slides. Recently, we started collaborating with a local hospital to start doing more clinical feedback, and we're going to be doing feedback and biomarkers for clients so that we can continue to get more information around how our clinical team and our medical team is working and how proficient that is as well. So previous to moving into the outreach role, I was the case manager. That's how I started at Summit. So I was the case manager from 2 Novembers ago for about 10 months. And now we have another amazing case manager that took over my role, Jack O'Sullivan, who's also in long-term recovery. About 60% or so of our staff is in long-term recovery ourselves, which I find is really essential in a lot of ways to relate to the clients and support them the best they can. So our case manager is meeting with our clients weekly to do a continued care plan for after treatment. Because we are a standalone facility, we are constantly needing to refer out to step-down levels of care, whether that's PHP or intensive outpatient, sober living. I just met with V4 yesterday, as well as First Steps Recovery Inc. to go and tour their sober living facilities because we refer out to them. We're setting them up with primary care physician appointments, and then connecting them if they're not already connected with therapists as well. Our case manager stays in touch with our clients for a year, up to a year after discharge. Usually it's once a week for the first 5 weeks, and then at 3 months, 6 months, and then 1 year. So we're always in collaboration with our community. And then the final slide here is just a quote from Brené Brown, who many of you probably know. Connection is why we're here. We're hardwired to connect with others. It's what gives us purpose and meaning to our lives, and without it, there is suffering. And it kind of sums up what we're about at Sana. We're not just about recovery or abstaining from substances. We're really about people understanding why they utilize substances to escape and figuring out who they are and who they want to become so that we can guide them on that journey. So that is the end of the, I'll stop sharing my screen here and
Awesome.
open things up to questions.
Thank you, Brendan. That was an awesome job. And I'm gonna put in the chat a link for a recording because I did actually interview Philip and Max on my Recovery Rockstar TV show through Northwest Access. And they just, and I told them this too, they completely blew me away. Just both wonderful individuals. So thank you for that. So open to questions. I do see Matthew's hand up first, so we'll start with Matthew.
Greetings and thank you for that presentation. I looked at the commercial insurance, and I'm missing, and excuse my ignorance, where is Medicaid and Medicare in that, processes? Because I know that's the majority I'm seeing across Vermont, that clientele use Medicare and Medicaid more often. So I'm just wondering where that plays a big role in this, because that's majority, of what the clients, of Vermont is serving if they have those type of insurances. Thank you.
Sure, yeah, great question. And it's the one that I always get when I don't mention Medicaid, because it's not something that we're currently accepting. As I mentioned, when we first started, Sana was initially touted as a high-end retreat style treatment center, and with it being located down in the heart of Stowe, it's a pretty expensive place to run. And unfortunately, Medicaid and Medicare reimbursement right now is so low that even the treatment centers that I know that accept it are not doing so hot and are struggling. And we just wouldn't be able to survive as a facility and a business and help anyone if we were able to deal with the reimbursement rates that are currently happening. So what we're doing about that, rather than just pretending that isn't an issue, is a few things. One, I'm showing up to legislative meetings and advocating for higher reimbursement rates because that's just going to benefit everyone involved. We are still working with Medicaid to figure out a contract in the future that will work for everyone as well. And then in the meantime, we're showing up to meetings, we're sponsoring events, we're going to conferences, we're trying to get involved with the community as much as possible, knowing that we can't serve everyone as we wish we could. And in the near future, now that we've, after now about a year and a half of business development, we're at a stable and enough place that we're hoping that we'll continue to be able to make a profit and therefore create a scholarship opportunity for folks that have Medicaid or private pay only, so that we can get people in who, even with the discounts with private pay, might not be able to afford that. We'd offer them scholarships. And so I'm connected with Melinda a lot around, the events that she's doing, and several other organizations within Vermont to try and stay involved as best we can.
Thank you for your question and thank you for that, because that's one thing that I see across Vermont. Is if you're going to bring And I bet you see this in your work, across Vermont, that majority of, clients, use Medicare and Medicaid, just as basic access needs, just to get those type of supports, services, and supports for their well-being. But thank you very much for answering that question.
Sure, yeah, thanks for asking.
Awesome, thank you so much. Yeah, as Brendan mentioned, Sana's very closely connected with Brad and I in our Substance Use Addiction Summit, and we have 6 goals. One of the goals is looking at the Medicaid reimbursement, so we're grateful for the advocacy that Sana is doing also around those reimbursements.
Yeah, and another part of our plan, so we have Melinda as a part of our board that we just initiated this year too. As I mentioned, I think by the end of this next year, we'll be financially stable enough to have made a profit. And we're going to be donating a portion of that to community-based programs that Melinda and a few other people on our board will be able to influence us around where the best place to put that profit will be.
That's amazing.
Kate?
Hi, 2 questions. So I'm thinking about, I always think about the Medicaid, Medicare group, but also has there been any exploration with the Department of Health around opioid resettlement funds to potentially pilot some kind of smaller scale? I think I just asked that because when you show there's a need and then you actually pilot some success, like back at Maple Leaf Farm, they used to have ODAP and ADAP that would pay for a set number of beds at the facility, so those people could potentially get services, and then you're tracking the need. So I think there's 2 pieces, but I was thinking about opioid settlement funds, if there's been any. That was the first question. Sorry.
Awesome. Thank you so much for bringing that up. And if you have more information on what that might look like, I'd love to. I'll put my email in the chat. I'd love for you to just send me some more information our way. As I had mentioned earlier, we're now working with McLean Hospital to do some measures around who we're serving, what that clientele looks like, and part of our hope with that program is to show who we haven't been able to help and who's been missing out, so that we can provide those numbers to the Department of Health and look into something like that. So I'm glad that you brought that up, and if anyone has any more information about that, I'd be happy to review it so that we can be more involved in that idea.
And I'll connect you right now.
We've been connecting. I've been trying to come to see you. You've been great about emailing me. It's Kate with long-term care, but also.
Oh, hey Kate, yeah, okay, great.
I will come see you, I promise.
Yeah, I know.
And then the other thought I had, so ODAP, settlement, tracking. What was it? Tracking information? Or something else. It'll come back.
Okay, if it comes back, just raise your hand. Jump in anytime.
Thanks, Kate.
Yeah, thanks.
Any other questions before we move on to our next presenter? Oh, hold on. Train has returned to the station.
So everybody on the other hand, Dale, I work for Dale, and we've done a lot of rate setting changes internally for like the same thing happens with residential care homes. The Medicaid reimbursement rate is lower, but there's been a lot of work done in small groups. So I think collaborating across, agencies there could be some learned successes from each other, because there have been some rate adjustments made in long-term care Medicaid to enhance rates. So I think exploring across departments would be good too. That was a statement, not a question. Sorry.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to connecting with you more, Kate.
Yeah.
So, and just another thing is each agency or company negotiates their rates individually. Just keep that in mind too. So, you're not going in as a group saying, oh, well, this is what, the state will pay for everybody. You get to work on that. So making connections with other organizations to figure out what their rates are would help you go in ahead of the game.
And for the
Well,
record,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
Mary
I'm glad you
Pickner.
bring that up, but that's,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of part of the numbers that we're trying to provide them, and then we're also closely connected with the folks at Jenna's Promise and Valley Vista and the other treatment programs around the state to continue to collaborate with them and see how we can all best work together.
Awesome. Okay, well, Brendan, thank you so much. You did a beautiful job. We're so grateful for the changes over the last couple of years to accommodate Vermonters more, and we know that's only going to continue to get better. Thank you for being an amazing partner with the summit. And I think so at this point, we're going to move to our next presenter, which is Deb Grennan. Deb was a Pelt team member for years and years when I first joined.
I missed that.
And I just love you. So good to have you with us again.
Back at you. Yeah, so a little bit about me while I'm getting the technical assistance here.
Yeah.
So years ago, I was telling someone earlier that we had a farm. My husband and I had a farm, and in order to supplement that income, I became a child care provider, home child care provider. I did everything wrong. I took care of kids really well, but the business side of it, I flunked. And I would just be like, oh, pay me whatever you can afford, right? Well, that didn't work out either. So anyway, fast forward a little bit, I became a librarian, driving a bookmobile for 22 years, and my patrons were child care providers. And that's just where I learned to love child care providers. They are my people. And the interview for this job certainly said that. They are my people. I love child care providers and want to make sure that their businesses are sustainable. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about First Children's Finance. Our mission is to, okay, so what do I click? Wait, give me some tutorial here.
I have an allergy to this too. And definitely spreadsheets. Yeah. See, I love spreadsheets.
Good old fashioned.
No, I don't get it. I can erase things and delete.
And I do have some notes because I'm a cheater like that. All right, so the mission of First Children's Finance is to build the supply and sustainability of excellent childcare. And everybody on our team is very passionate about that. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history of our, the history of our organization in a minute. But just in case you don't know much about childcare, it really matters. In our ecosystem, our economy, it's super important. Obviously, parents can't access or maintain employment without it. Tomorrow's workforce won't be prepared without it. And the return on investment for quality care and education reduces long-term costs to the public and private sectors, including incarceration and substance abuse and all of that. So that is, I'm probably preaching to the choir here about how childcare matters, but how many of you have children? How many of you have had to look for childcare? Right, is it easy?
No.
No, it's super tough, right? You have a toddler, right? My husband.
I've done it every kid in many states.
Multiple times, yeah, it's really tough. So again, background about First Children's Finance. First Children's Finance was founded about 33 years ago in 1991. It was a community development financial institution, which means short for CDFI. Its headquarters were in Minneapolis, Minnesota. In 2006, it became a national nonprofit organization, and in 2008, expanded to Michigan and Iowa. Our Vermont office opened just 2 years ago in 2023. We just had our happy birthday party. We're gonna have another party a little bit later this month because we like to celebrate our birthdays over and over. And we're also about ready to throw temper tantrums because that's what 2-year-olds do. That's that part. But Oregon opened in 2024, so we're no longer the baby of First Children's Finance. First Children's Finance also serves about 20 states and 4 Native nations with the support of the national team. So any state that doesn't have an office, the national team serves in those ways. Who's in Vermont? This is our little team. Business Development Specialist on the left of your screen is Samantha Collins. She's our newest hire. Rose Morrison is at the very bottom of the state in Brattleboro. She's also a Business Development Specialist like myself. Jen Severance is our manager. She manages the 3 Business Development Specialists, and believe me, we need a lot of managing. Just kidding. Erin's our director of our Vermont office. She was the very first person that First Children's Finance hired in Vermont. And then Kathy Reeds, she's our senior grant specialist. Tess Weaver is our program specialist, so she keeps everything going behind the scenes for us. And there I am on the right. So what do we actually do? Right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you're really excited to hear this, right? Again, the mission of our organization is to increase the supply and business sustainability of excellent childcare. So we do it on 3 levels. We do it on the childcare business level, the community level, and the systems level. So childcare business is where we partner with childcare providers to strengthen their operations and achieve their dreams. This is primarily the lane that I stay in, helping boots on the ground with folks and their finances. And the other business development team managers do that similarly in other parts of the state. We don't really have regions, we overlap a lot of times, but pretty much I'm at the top of the state, Rose is at the bottom, everybody else is scattered around. Sam's in the Northeast Kingdom area. And then on the community level, that's where we analyze the supply of childcare. And we identify factors that contribute to any shortages of different states, areas like that. And we try to support all the cultural needs of the individual community as we're looking at those communities. And First Children's Finance also works at the systems level by aligning and leveraging existing resources to build sustainability of childcare and change the public systems through advocacy and expertise that accelerate childcare and policies and practices. You probably heard of Act 76, which was a big legislation in Vermont last year, which was super helpful for childcare businesses in our state. So when the governor I'm taking off my professional hat and I'm putting on my personal hat and I'm saying when the governor says he wants to take some of the money that was allocated for this purpose, don't say no, just say no. Anyway, so the work takes on a lot of forms: business development programs, financial modeling, and new and existing childcare, consulting and technical assistance. That's what we do the most. I do training. We try to engage with the private sector and engage government entities, organizations like yourself. You probably know a childcare provider. Everybody does. If you haven't had to look for childcare yourself. Yeah. All right, moving on. Digging into a little bit of the details of what we do. Ongoing education, obviously, webinars, provider trainings, learning cohorts. We do it virtually and in person. Our trainings are listed on the Northern Lights at CCV platform, and that's how childcare providers can find it, but they can also call us and ask us for trainings. We're happy to share individually if folks can't make those days and times. So again, we provide lending, obviously, to access to capital. We do lending services. We do grants, and we are Sharia compliant. We're pretty proud of that as well. It's Sharia compliant financing is financing for the borrowers that allows Islamic borrowers to be consistent with the tenets of their faith. I skipped over the supported services. So startup costs, financial analysis and business consultation, that's smack dab where I land, right in the green. That's most of my days are spent doing some of these financial analyses, helping folks set their tuition rates, helping folks understand their enrollment ratios are, key to having their business. And then we've done some, business consultation, and we do crisis support too. We don't see as much of that, and I'm excited to show you some of the slides coming up because we feel like we're really seeing a change in the trajectory for childcare provider businesses. How am I doing on time? Am I okay?
Doing great, yep, we got plenty of time.
All right, so I talked about training. People seem to like our training. They seem to be hungry for it. We have data on, participation. I'll show you in a little bit. But here are some of the quotes that we have. Almost everybody says that we give above average or excellent trainings, and I just threw in some quotes here to this slide. To our own horn a little bit. But anybody's welcome to take the trainings. You don't have to be a child care provider, so, but it might not be as relevant if you're not. And so, again, I shamelessly stole this clip from our website, some of the work that we've done, and this, remember, we're only here for 2 years so far, right? So this is pretty exciting. $2.51 million we've dispersed to childcare businesses in grants, primarily in grants, so that's pretty exciting. Most of them were expansion grants for infants and toddlers because we know that's where the biggest need is in Vermont. That's where we're lacking. You can probably attest to that, right? Toddlers. And that created 751 new childcare spots. This is where you clap. Yay. And we provided 1,167 hours of creditable professional development to childcare professionals. They have to account for their training every year. They have to have so much training every year in order to stay regulated. So we are recognized as a sponsor for that, and our trainings are creditable. So in some capacity, we've served 51% of all the programs in Vermont, or 468 of those in 2 years, so we're pretty happy about that too. The word is getting out. Not only that we have grant money, but that, you know, that things are better if they have good business practices. Access to capital, 23 and 24, we have what we call a Make Way for Kids grant. If you're familiar with Let's Grow Kids, we took over that program as they are sunsetting the end of this year, or in July, I guess technically, but some of them will be around till October. Be that as it may, 61 projects, 1,867,000 and something awarded. 21 of these were for expanding programs, 14 were new centers, 15 were new family child care homes, FCCH, that's what that means, and 11 to maintain spaces in the existing programs. So I wanted to just talk about the maps a little bit. They illustrate the big investment that Vermont has made, especially since Act 76 last year. Table 1 shows the distribution of capacity of the projects, the table on the right shows where we've given the money in each county. So it talks about the number of programs there. I can share these slides with you after, or I guess you have them anyway. You'll send them out, right?
Yeah.
So this is the slide I'm most excited about. I'm sure you've heard childcare businesses are closing faster than they're opening, and this is where this is the first year that we've seen that tip the other way. Okay, so we've seen a lot more, not a lot more, but for the full fiscal year last year, we've seen more programs open than close. And the next slide is going to show you about the capacity of some of the programs. In December, the licensed capacity was 23,494 spots, just below the 23,500 spots that has been the highest. So we're getting there. We're getting back to where we were. And the good news is that more programs are staying open because of Act 76. They're not paying me to say this, but it was a really big legislation that helped the field so much. So is anybody really better off? This is what I was talking about before. We think so. We think we're increasing spots. We're helping providers stay in business, and I just wanted to leave you with some contact information too, and what's next. And please do follow us on Facebook. Tess is really fun with our Facebook account, and she does some competitions and some fun. She always has a Friday fact. She does a Junior Friday post, which is Thursday, and anyway, it's fun. So follow us on Facebook and see what's happening. Check out our website. I showed you the banner, but there's a lot more there. And I'm ready for questions if we have time.
Yep, we do. Does anybody have questions?
I have one about the chart. Was that only registered, not the last chart, but the chart before?
Regulated.
Regulated.
Yes, they have to be regulated.
Does that mean registered or licensed?
It depends. Regulated encompasses all, right? And licensed is a smaller portion of that. So family childcare homes can be registered or licensed. They can take a couple more children if they are licensed, but they also have to jump through a lot more permitting and hoops and regulations in order to become licensed. Centers are all licensed if they take care of lots of children. They're licensed at different levels depending on the number of children that they can take care of.
So it doesn't include like non-licensed at all? It
It's
has to
not-
be some kind of.
It's not like providers, if that's what you
Okay,
mean,
yeah,
what used to
that
be
was
like
the other
providers.
category.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
thank you.
Awesome. And I see Matthew's hand is up on
Great.
Zoom. Feel free to unmute.
Yes, greetings, this is Matthew. Thank you for the presentation, by the way. I looked at the webinar training, there's some trainings, is there tailor-made or customized made for one-on-one? To have that, training on one-on-one with providers, teachers, educations that need that extra support, because not everybody learn things, do things differently. And, everybody does things, their minds do things differently, or get trained differently than the status quo, because I know it's, in my work, not everything is, one way. Everybody does things differently, learns things differently, and, just how they process, things differently. Is there a way to make those accommodations, so
Absolutely.
providers, teachers, educationals can get that one-on-one support so they can feel confident doing this type of work, because that brings, that positivity in this, stressful workforce situation within, not just the childcare realm, but also within the teaching industry realm too as well of Vermont, because that stuff is very, very stressful if you don't have that one-on-one conversation or support. Thank you.
Yes, we do that, Matt. We do, Matthew, we do one-on-ones with folks all the time. Oftentimes it's a scheduling thing because childcare providers are busy all day. And so sometimes we try to schedule our trainings in the evening as well. But if they need the one-on-one, we're happy to do that on an individual basis as needed, and we'll spread it out over whatever time frame is comfortable for those folks. We do like the groups because people learn from each other, things that are working and things that are not working. And so some of the richness comes from being in a group, but we also respect what you just said, and not everybody learns the same way. So, yeah, thanks for asking.
Awesome.
Deb, this is funding for providers only? Is there in businesses? So there's no trickle down to the parents who have kids in terms of money for them?
Well, maybe in a way, it depends on their business model. So what happens is the Make Way for Kids grant was focused on infants and toddlers, and basically it's for stuff. So we buy fences, cribs, things that people need, to take care of children, changing tables, whatever, sleep mats. And so that cost then doesn't have to, the tuition costs then don't have to support that.
Yeah.
Those things.
Nice.
So in a kind of a way, they do, but not directly.
Yeah, nice, thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Sure.
Just looking at where First Children's Finance has expanded to. You have Michigan, you have Iowa, you have Vermont, and then you have Oregon. And how does that work? Like, how did they?
So each state has its own state office.
Okay.
And so you saw the Vermont team. Every team has a number of people, some more, some fewer than Vermont. The Minnesota team is by and large, because that's where it started, the largest team. The organization has just, I think around 80 people nationwide that work for First Children's Finance. So not a lot of people, but one fun fact is that every year they bring us to Minnesota for an all-staff face-to-face meeting. So we go there for 4 days and meet other people, the rest of the 80 people that are in our state. But each state has some autonomy to run the way that it's needed. We found here in Vermont, because we came into existence right before Act 76 was passed. For us, most of our initial work was
helping providers understand what that meant. Because it's a huge bill, it's very complex, there were it was phased in stages for different things, including tuition rates phased in at different times for different amounts. And so helping providers understand how that was all gonna affect their business was our first task, pretty much our first task, in addition to the grant lending that you saw. So, does that help? Does that answer? Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you, Deb.
If you know it, try to talk to a provider, I'm your girl. Send them my way.
Thank you so much. What a fantastic presentation. And I'll make sure that both presentations, PowerPoints are included in the updates too, so people can go back to the slides.
Great, thank you.
So this brings us to the point on the agenda for any announcements, updates, upcoming initiatives. This is a chance to share anything new going on. And also a reminder, you can email the FGIC partnership at gmail.com, and we can also include your updates in the weekly updates. So I guess I'll start with Brad to give people an overview of the where and when of the summit, so I don't have to keep talking.
So the fourth annual Substance Use Addiction Summit is August 4th at the Champlain Valley. August 1st. August 1st at the Champlain Valley Expo. This is my wife, by the way. Her. Thankfully. We will, we're hoping for 100 booths at least again this year, which means that there's great collaboration with all the communities across the state. That's been a big benefit. We are really trying to dig down on the communication between law enforcement, judges, prosecutors, and providers, so that there's so that we are getting safer streets and we're getting people on the streets to where they need to go for help or for incarceration. And we hope the incarceration numbers are low and the help numbers are high, but it's something that's really being looked at now. So we look also for any kind of funding. We're boots on the ground operation, and we've had a lot of great support over the years, and it makes the trains run. So we're grateful for that.
Awesome. And I did put in the chat the booth registration link, so the booths are still no charge for all organizations or individuals that provide services of any kind. We've had everything from like large organizations that book 2 to 3 booths to smaller organizations that might partner up and share. I think, I know Celebrate Recovery is next to the Adult Teen Challenge program, and so even if it's an individual that's providing services, we would love to have you join us. So I put the link in the chat. And then I saw John's hand, and after John, Megan.
All right, hi, yes, so hello everybody, just remember Saturday is the Model Railroad Show at the Collins Worley Sports Complex. Bring your kids, your grandkids, bring yourself, enjoy a day with the trains, I'll be there.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, John. Megan. Whoop, you're muted.
Hi everyone, sorry I was late to the meeting this morning. I'm Megan Bridges, Director of Partner and Volunteer Engagement at United Way of Northwest Vermont, and I just have a couple quick things. In the chat, I shared an opportunity for you to all attend a panel discussion around doing business in uncertain times. My colleague Emma Paradise with Common Good Vermont, which hopefully you all know supports our nonprofit sector across the state, has been working to help put this on. So know that that's an available resource and opportunity for you. Also, at the St. Albans Rotary, I am going to be there promoting volunteering opportunities in Franklin and Grand Isle counties. So if your organization you want me to promote volunteer needs at your organization, I'm going to put my email in the chat, and I'm happy to share that information with the community so we can get more folks out and engaged in volunteering. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you so much, Megan. Matthew?
Yes, that's, thank you, and just to let you guys know, I did send a PDF file, about our town administrator, intern to be a town administrator, so we got both positions from the same, board. Just to let you know, update about it, our town administrator is leaving. He actually is from Derby, Vermont himself, so like I said, he comes a long ways to even come to Culver. That's a long ways just to facilitate the administration role of the town of Alburg. So yeah, he got that position back at his home regional counties and local town level. It's basically a position that's hoping to be full-time from intermediate to full-time administrator for Alburg, and I think I already passed that PDF file to all of you, just a reminder that actually we're going to be reviewing that tonight, 6:00 p.m. at the town office, just goes through the applicants of, candidates' applications for the administrator of Alburg, Vermont town office. So that's what's happening tonight. Like I said, the candidates form is still reviewing who still would like to be still candidates. You can still put your reach out to the town administrator, current town administrator, until he figures out who's he's going to help train the next town administrator to do the job that the select board would want to see throughout the town. So just something to give you an update about. Continue moving forward with this because it's a sad day for the town, but we understand that he lives in Derby, Vermont, and that's a long haul, one way. And we understand and we support his decisions, and his adventures into his new role in his own town. So, just something to keep on your radars, The application is still, ongoing for about a month. We're hoping to get as many applications as we can. For that position, and just we'll figure out we'll see moving forward who basically would fill the slot of the town administrator of Alburg for that perfect position fit. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matthew. And I see a few hands.
Mine's quick.
Go
I
for
just
it.
wanted to say, I forgot to say, our services are all free at no cost, no charge to the provider, so that's just an important piece.
Ooh, that is
I love
important.
health
That's a very
services.
important piece.
Very important piece.
Thank you, Deb.
Yeah.
I just want to share, seeing Megan reminded me that there'll be substance misuse prevention grant opportunities coming out later this month that folks can apply to. It's being coordinated by the United Way. So watch for that.
March 18th, I think, right? I know the end.
I think it's the 15th. I think it's
Megan
March
can
15th.
tell us. Is it March 18th and then the RF?
The RFP is gonna come out March 14th. And if you're not already receiving communications from the Northwest and Central Vermont Prevention Network, send me an email and we'll get you on our communications list so that you'll be sure to have fast access to that. And I also will post the website for our network, which will, the RFP and all the documents will be there as well.
Thank you, Megan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
I just wanted to announce to the group, and it's been in the weekly emails the last couple weeks, Holy Trinity a month ago started a diaper ministry at the church. So it is available, there are people there staffing it, for lack of a better word. It's all of 2 people at a time. Mondays and Wednesdays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We have a wide variety, everything from preemie up to 5T and 6T sizes available, wipes, the whole, all of it. It's because we're funding it both from our money and also from donations that people have brought in. We don't have any limitations, at least not now, on zip code that we serve or income, so there's no questions about income. There is no, I always say this because I know people get really twitchy about coming to churches for things sometimes. none of my folks, and I wanna hear if they do, will say, oh, you have to come to church on Sunday. No, there's no, I will always offer that, I will tell people what time our services are, I will talk about that, but we place no requirements on that. So please just let your folks know, diapers and wipes are stupid expensive.
Yeah.
And there's very little, if any, ways to access them. Like, you know, I don't know that there's any other programs that provide discounted, or not many.
There is,
Yeah.
through NCSS, we partner
Yes.
with 15 of the 16 libraries, and so they're at the libraries for free. And then they can also call me at NCSS. And I can leave them at the front desk or drop them somewhere or any of those pieces, so.
That's right, I'd forgotten.
There's some other programs.
There's some other programs, but there's not a ton of them, and I mean, my guys are gonna be 21. I remember 20 years ago how expensive these were.
Yes.
So, we've had a couple people come in already, and so we just wanna, my folks who volunteer to do this wanna be busy, they don't wanna be sitting on their phones.
Yeah. Awesome, thank you. I guess,
I have one announcement. The first Thursday of every month, NCSS hosts a suicide support group, and that's here in this room right here. So just a reminder, tomorrow is the first Thursday of March, so that's going to be here for anyone who's been impacted by death by suicide. The Community Partner Classics, a golf tournament that we put on in conjunction with NMC, so that's going. There's still time to get an early bird discount if you want to put a golf team in, so that's going to be on June 20th at Champlain Country Club. And then on March 10th, we have a school-based adaptive program, which was previously our autistic program, and they do a lot of work within the school systems. Some of the problems that we've had over the years is that there's not really a great space to work with these students. You know, you might be in the hallway or you're trying to find an open room, so we recently leased a building that's right across from where the driving range, I'm trying to think of what that plaza's called right now. But anyways, there's an open house event to learn more about the program, the new lease building, and to meet the staff. And I've learned a lot from, just the walk-in that I had, and we're, inviting people from the community to go in and take a look. And again, just a great program that we have for children with autism. And this is Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month, so I thought it'd be a good time of year to have the event, and then just to bring it up with you guys, so.
It's in the same plaza as Tebow's Appliance.
Thanks. I was trying to.
Oh, Champlain Commons.
Yeah, there
Okay,
you go.
thank you. I
There
don't remember the name, but
I couldn't
I know
remember.
Tebow's.
Everybody knows Tebow's.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
Awesome. And I'm thinking too, if Joe Halco were here right now, he would make the announcement of the St. Albans Rotary Home and Recreation Expo. So that is held this year on March 15th and 16th at the Collins Pearly Sports Complex. So that is coming up soon, and I just wanted to make sure that was highlighted. Free admission and fun for the entire family, which is a very true story. The Rotary raises funds that are distributed locally to assist organizations achieve their missions of making the community a better place. And that's been in the weekly updates as well, but just wanted to throw it out there because when I realized the date, I stuck it in my calendar and I don't want to miss it, so.
And
Yes.
without the story.
Yeah.
So Dalton Teen Challenge will be a part of the Rotary Exposition, donated a beautiful cutting board set that not only helps men and women come into our residential program free of charge, but I just wanted to announce we do have plenty of beds available right now. We are in a season of change. We have an amazing new associate director that has come on board from our Brockton campus. If you don't know about Adult Teen Challenge, we are a long-term residential, 10 to 12 month, that does not discriminate based on economic status, which means we don't take insurance. And for that reason, we do fundraisers and scholarship programs. Our average cost for a resident is $2,400 a month, and that is not for them to pay. We do that through selling of cutting boards and dollar-a-day sponsorships. So that's why you have seen me at these meetings. I'm from St. Albans in long-term recovery, and Adult and Teen Challenge was my vessel. It saved my life, and now I really want to partner with short-term solutions to offer a secondary solution. So 30 days didn't give me enough time to get my life back on track because I didn't screw it up in 30 days. So I've been there 18 months. I'm now staff. I have an apartment. I have my daughter back in my life. I have a car. So I think there's opportunity to partner with these short-term care facilities and offer another solution if you're not ready for sober living, if you're not ready for that step, because I wasn't. And it really is an opportunity. So we do have a sponsorship program. We're looking for help. Being that we're faith-based, it is a little harder to get some funding. So for $1 a day, you can put a resident through our program, which is crazy to think about. So if you are interested, just see me after. That's cheaper than a Dunkin' Donuts coffee, and you can sow into someone changing their life. So I'm going to more events like this because we are in need of help, just like a lot of us are. But the unique part of our situation is we're grant and privately funded. So any help, or if you know anybody that's willing to sew in, that'd be huge. And I think it's huge because this is my backyard, and I really want to offer my help. So if you know anybody, I'll go have coffee with anybody that's willing to take that step to get their life back on track. Melinda has my contact, and gladly come back here anytime to talk to anybody. That's all I got.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Oh, and that reminds me too. So there is going to be, should be put out in the weekly updates pretty soon. We're going to have a movies that matter. So Pastor Preston Fuller has been a rock star in getting this one to be accepted into the Weldon. So we're going to be doing a showing of Recovery City. It is a documentary done through Twin Seas Media. And that is on, I'm just trying to find that date. And Pete reminded me because
29th, I think.
I think so. So it's April, my apologies, I should have had it up. April 20. Oh my gosh, hold on a second. Let me find my text chain with. And as I'm pulling up the exact date, so
April
there's
29th at 6 p.m.
That's it. April 29th at 6 p.m. at the Weldon. So there's going to be a showing of Recovery City and then a panel after of combination of people in recovery, people who are service providers, and the people that have accepted to join that panel so far, Kate, Pete, Ben Kaufman, a few others, Holly, are people who have been really instrumental in helping others as well as sharing and advocacy for recovery. So just save the date and we'll get that out there in the weekly updates soon. Any others? And I also know, sorry, it's coming to mind too, so Ben would kick me for not announcing this. So the Walk in Their Shoes event, that's an annual event that the Samaritan House, Tim's House, puts on for both awareness fundraising. And this year that Walk in Their Shoes event is going to be on Saturday, May 24th. So save the date for now. We'll get that out in the weekly updates as well. And participation is encouraged. We've had a lot of fun with that each year, and it's an opportunity when we say walk in their shoes. Individuals that are struggling with homelessness need to go to service providers, probation, CVOEO, Martha's for food, Turning Point for meetings. It's an opportunity to see what they need to do on a daily basis just to survive. So it's a chance to experience. And I know Ben and the team, we love it when it's nice weather because we enjoy it. And I also love it when it's horrible weather so we can really get a good taste of what our most vulnerable have to deal with on a daily basis. Any other announcements? All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming. We'll do what Kristen Pryor says, the gift of time for the last 2 minutes. Next meeting is the first Wednesday of the month. So we will meet again in April on the 2nd. Have a wonderful rest of your day. On purpose.